It was just another day at the airport. Karoline Leavitt, a successful businesswoman in her late 20s, had everything planned out. She was heading home after closing one of the biggest deals of her career. As she boarded the flight, she couldn't help but smile as she settled into her first-class seat. But then something unexpected happened. An elderly man, dressed in a worn-out jacket, shuffled onto the plane. His face told stories of battles fought long ago. He was a veteran, and he looked like he needed help more than anyone else on that flight. Without hesitation, Karoline made a decision that would change not only her life, but also the lives of many others. What happened next? Well, let's just say no one saw it coming. Karoline Leavitt wasn't your average traveler. She ran a tech startup that was making waves across the country. Her life revolved around meetings, deadlines, and long flights. But despite her busy schedule, she always found time to help others. It was this side of her personality that made her stand out, even among the elite circles she often moved in. That day, as she boarded the flight from New York to Los Angeles, Karoline felt proud of herself. The deal she had just closed meant millions for her company, and she couldn't wait to celebrate with her team back home. As she took her seat in first class, she glanced around the cabin. Most of the passengers were engrossed in their phones or tablets, lost in their own worlds. Then he walked in. An older man, his posture slightly hunched, carrying a small bag that looked like it had seen better days. His hair was gray, and there was a medal pinned to his chest, a reminder of sacrifices made long ago. He paused at the entrance of the plane, looking unsure of where to go. A flight attendant quickly guided him toward economy class, but Karoline noticed something else. There was a sadness in his eyes, a kind of weariness that spoke volumes. Without thinking twice, Karoline stood up and approached the veteran. "Excuse me," she said softly, catching his attention. "Would you mind if I gave you my seat? You deserve it more than I do." The man blinked, clearly surprised. For a moment, he didn't say anything. Then, slowly, a smile spread across his face. "Are you sure?" he asked, his voice filled with gratitude. "Yes, absolutely," Karoline replied. And with that, she handed over her boarding pass and helped him settle into the luxurious first-class seat. As Karoline returned to economy class, she didn't think much about what she'd done. To her, it was just a simple act of kindness. Little did she know, this decision would set off a chain of events that no one could have predicted. As the plane took off, Karoline tried to relax in her economy seat. She pulled out her laptop, ready to catch up on some work during the flight. But something felt different. Maybe it was the way people were whispering and glancing at her, or maybe it was the buzz of excitement spreading through the cabin. Whatever it was, Karoline couldn't ignore it for long. A young woman sitting a few rows ahead turned around and tapped Karoline on the shoulder. "Are you Karoline Leavitt?" she asked, holding up her phone. "Yes," Karoline replied cautiously, wondering why this stranger knew her name. The woman grinned. "I just wanted to say thank you. I saw what you did for that veteran earlier. It was amazing." Before Karoline could respond, another passenger leaned over. "Yeah, everyone's talking about it," he said. "You really didn't have to give up your seat. But wow, that was incredible." Confused, Karoline looked around. Sure enough, several passengers were smiling at her, nodding approvingly. Some even clapped as they passed by. It seemed like word had spread quickly throughout the plane. But the surprises didn't stop there. About halfway through the flight, the captain made an announcement over the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen," his voice crackled through the speakers, "I'd like to take a moment to recognize a passenger who has shown remarkable kindness today." Karoline Leavitt gave up her first-class seat to honor a veteran who served our country. Please join me in thanking her for such a selfless act. The entire cabin erupted into applause. Karoline sat there, blushing and overwhelmed. She hadn't expected any recognition. It wasn't why she did it. Yet, the warmth of the moment stayed with her. Then came the real twist. After landing in Los Angeles, Karoline stepped off the plane and noticed a group of reporters waiting near the gate. One of them held up a microphone. "Miss Leavitt, can we get a comment about giving up your seat for the veteran?" Karoline froze. How did they know? had someone filmed the incident and posted it online. As she stood there, trying to process everything, a man in a suit approached her. He introduced himself as a representative from a major airline company. "Miss Leavitt," he began, "we've been following your story closely. Your gesture has inspired thousands of people around the world. We'd like to offer you something special, a lifetime membership in our elite frequent flyer program." Karoline stared at him, speechless. This was far beyond anything she could have imagined. But before she could respond, her phone buzzed. A message popped up on the screen. It was from an unknown number, and the text read, "Your kindness will change more lives than you realize." Who sent it? And what did they mean? Karoline tucked her phone away, feeling both curious and uneasy. The day had started so simply, yet now it felt like the beginning of something much bigger. The days that followed were a whirlwind for Karoline. Her story went viral, spreading like wildfire across social media platforms. People from all over the world shared her act of kindness, calling it a beacon of hope in a sometimes cold and indifferent world. Strangers sent her messages of gratitude, thanking her for reminding them of the power of compassion. But amidst the praise, something extraordinary happened. The veteran she had helped, whose name was revealed to be John Thompson, came forward to share his own story. In interviews and posts, he spoke about his years serving in the military, the challenges he faced after returning home, and how Karoline's simple gesture meant more to him than words could express. John explained that he had been struggling lately, dealing with health issues and financial difficulties. But when Karoline gave up her seat, it reminded him of the humanity and goodness that still existed. Inspired by her actions, John decided to reach out to local charities and community groups, offering his time and experience to help others who might be facing similar struggles. As if this wasn't enough, another surprise awaited Karoline. A major corporation reached out, offering to fund a scholarship program in her name. The initiative would provide educational opportunities for children of veterans, ensuring they had access to resources and support. When asked why they chose her, the company spokesperson said, "Your act of kindness resonated with us deeply. It showed us that small gestures can lead to big changes." Karoline accepted the offer, but only under one condition. She wanted to actively participate in the program, meeting the students and learning their stories. For her, it wasn't just about receiving recognition, it was about making a real difference. Meanwhile, the mysterious text message continued to linger in her mind. "Your kindness will change more lives than you realize." Who sent it? And what did they mean? As she dug deeper, Karoline discovered that the sender was none other than a former colleague of hers, someone she hadn't spoken to in years. This person had witnessed her act of kindness firsthand and decided to document it, believing it could inspire others. In the end, Karoline realized that her decision to give up her seat wasn't just about helping one person, it was about sparking a ripple effect of positivity. From inspiring a veteran to take action, to creating a scholarship program, to touching the hearts of millions worldwide, her simple act of kindness had truly changed lives. As the dust settled, Karoline sat back and reflected on everything that had happened. She smiled, knowing that sometimes, the smallest choices can lead to the greatest outcomes. And as for the future, well, Karoline planned to keep doing what she'd always done, helping others, one step at a time. What do you think? Could you imagine giving up your seat for someone in need? Or maybe you've already done something similar without realizing its impact. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring tales. And stay tuned, because part 2 is coming soon. You won't want to miss it.